Let's listen in. Here's the Resources Minister Madeleine King speaking now.
High purity alumina is a really significant step for Australia and, of course, for Alpha HPA. And our traditional resources in this country, right here in Gladstone, where it's coal and LNG, and in my home state of Western Australia, iron ore and LNG, continue to underpin the economy and the economic prosperity of our country. But it is that economic prosperity that allows us as the Albanese Labor government to be able to support these emerging industries, such as the high purity alumina industry, and then for Renascor in South Australia, the new spherical graphite. All of which does need help because international forces are difficult to overcome in these emerging industries, and they will be those parts of our industry that we will need to get to net zero. And I'm super proud of the work Alpha HPA are doing, that Renascor are doing, that so many are doing, because as I've said many times before, the road to net zero will run through Australia's resources sector. I'll hand back to the PM.
Yep. I just had a question.
Sure.
While you're there. Data shows that less than half of the Bruce Highway is failing basic safety standards. Why did the federal government slash funding?
Now, I think you may have me confused with the Minister for Infrastructure, Catherine King. I'm not an expert.
They're sisters. I'll take an infrastructure question. We have committed $10 billion to the Bruce Highway. I was in Rockhampton with the Premier a little while ago doing the Rocky Ring Road construction beginning. Just near here, Calliope Crossroads. Promised, funded, commenced, built while I was the Infrastructure Minister. You go further south here, Koroita Curra, talked about by the former local LNP MP was Warren Truss. He happened to be the Transport Minister. He used to stand up in Parliament and say, this is the worst section of the road in Queensland. This is the most dangerous road in Australia. If only there was someone who could do something about it. The bloke was the Transport Minister. It took us coming to government to get that done. Koroita Curra, now drive along that section of the highway. It's enormous. Mackay Ring Road, I'll be there again soon. Commenced under us construction. Townsville Ring Road, stages 1, 2, 3, 4. All of the work that was done up and down the Bruce Highway. The Howard government, little fun fact for you, $1.3 billion over 12 years. The Rudd and Gillard government, $7.6 billion over 6 years. We got it going. The Yeppan floodplain into Rocky. It used to be no one could get into Rocky every time there was a major flooding event. We fixed it. Now, we had 10 years, for example, Rocky Ring Road's a good example. I funded in the 2012 budget the study for the Rockhampton Ring Road. It only commenced this year. What happened in between time? The LNP. That's what happened. We're in government. So we're committed to working between myself and Stephen and Catherine King. The other King's sister will be there working away on the Bruce Highway. I understand how important it is, and I was talking earlier today during the pandemic. I had the opportunity as Labor leader. I drove with some of the team who are here now from Barcaldine to Brisbane. I drove from Cairns to Brisbane. And we drove another time from Townsville to Brisbane inland, again via Emerald and Billow and around here as well. I'm very familiar with the Bruce Highway. I'm big in Baroran, which is just south of here, the pub. We ended up there for dinner a few times, highly recommended. So I'm a Prime Minister who's not a Queenslander, but I tell you what, I know about the Bruce Highway. And so does Catherine King, and so does the Premier of Queensland, and we're getting on with it. But the truth is that the former government, federal government, talked and talked and talked. What they didn't do was provide funds and get on with it.